Welcome back to Speak English Like a Pro. I'm really glad you're here because today I want to talk to you about something that might just change the way you see English forever. We're diving into the idea of real English, not classroom English, not textbook English, not the kind of English that sounds like it came from an exam paper, but the actual English that people use every single day. You know what I mean, right? The English you hear when two friends are chatting at a coffee shop, or when someone sends a quick text, or when coworkers are joking around during a lunch break. That's the English that's alive, that's breathing, that's moving and changing every day. And if you want to sound fluent, not just correct, but confident and natural, that's the English you need to know. Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever learned a phrase from a textbook like, how do you do when? And then realize that no one actually says that in real life? Or maybe you learned to say something like, I am going to visit the supermarket to purchase some vegetables, but then heard someone else say, I'm going to hit the store real quick, grab some veggies, and thought, wait, what did they just say? That's the difference right there. Like, it's not that one version is wrong and the other is right. It's just that one sounds like something you'd read in a grammar book, and the other sounds like something you'd actually hear in real life. Real English is full of contractions, expressions, slang, tone changes, little pauses, and rhythm that you just don't get from formal study alone. People say gonna instead of going to. They say wanna instead of want to, and sometimes they even combine whole phrases into one sound, like did you eat, becoming jeet. It's fast, it's casual, and it's what makes English feel alive. If your goal is to connect with people, to understand movies without subtitles, to laugh at jokes without needing to translate them, and to speak in a way that feels easy and comfortable, then this is the kind of English you need to focus on. I remember a student of mine, let's call her Aisha. She was incredibly smart. She had passed every English exam you can imagine: TOEFL, IELTS, Cambridge levels. No, she had them all. But the first time she met a native speaker in person, she completely froze. Not because she didn't know the words, she knew them all, but because the person she was talking to wasn't speaking the way her books had taught her. He was casual, he was using idioms, he was talking fast, dropping words, using slang, even laughing mid sentence. And she felt lost. She looked at me later and said, I studied English for years. Why didn't anyone teach me this English? That moment stuck with me because that's the experience so many learners have. They work hard, they study hard, and then when it's time to actually use the language, they don't feel ready. But the good news is you can learn real English. You can train your ear to hear how people actually speak, and you can start using that same natural flow when you speak too. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having a British or American accent. It's about sounding like a real person, not a robot. And trust me, that's so much more powerful. People don't connect to perfect grammar. They connect to emotion. They connect to realness. So, what does real English sound like? Well, it's relaxed. It's friendly. It's full of little phrases that carry a lot of meaning. Like when someone says no worries, they're not just saying it's okay. They're saying don't even think about it. You're good. Or when someone says I'm down, they don't mean they're lying on the floor. They mean they agree. They're in. I'm down to go means yeah, let's do it. These expressions don't always make sense if you translate them word by word, but once you hear them in context, when you use them in conversation, they start to feel like second nature. Real English also includes a lot of storytelling. Think about it, like when people talk, they don't just exchange facts. They tell little stories like, you won't believe what happened to me today, or so I was walking to the store, right? And this guy just out of nowhere starts talking to me about turtles. These aren't just sentences, they're moments. And real English is full of these little moments. The more you listen to them, the more you'll start to notice the patterns, the way people use like to pause, or how they stretch words for emphasis, or how they use their voice to add meaning that isn't even in the words. And don't forget about humor. Real English is full of jokes, sarcasm, playful teasing, all the things that make a language feel human. You won't find those things in a grammar book, but you will find them in real life. And once you start understanding them, conversations become a lot more fun. So, how do you actually learn real English? The answer is exposure. You have to listen to it a lot. Watch TV shows where people talk the way they do in real life. Not historical dramas, but comedies, sitcoms, vlogs, interviews, podcasts, anything where people are just being themselves. And when you hear a phrase you don't understand, rewind it, play it again, try to guess the meaning from the situation. Then say it out loud. Copy the speaker. Match their tone, their pauses, their energy. You're not just learning words, you're learning rhythm. And when you speak, don't try to be perfect. Try to be real. If you don't know a word, use a different one. If you mess up, laugh about it and keep going. That's what native speakers do. That's what friends do. That's what confident people do. Nobody speaks perfect English all the time, not even native speakers. And let me say this too, your accent, it's fine. Don't stress about it. Your accent is part of your story. It shows where you come from. What matters more is your flow, your confidence, your ability to keep the conversation going. If you can do that, you're already speaking like a pro. One thing I always tell my students is this: fluency is not about using big words, it's about using simple words smoothly. Real English is simple, clear, natural, and you don't need a million vocabulary words to speak it. You just need the right ones, used the right way. So the next time you talk to someone in English, try to relax, breathe, listen to how they speak, mirror their style. Notice how they begin and end their sentences. Notice the little words they use, like, kinda, sorta, actually, honestly. These words add personality. They make you sound real, and once you start using them, your English will feel more real too. If you keep practicing this, yeah, if you keep listening, copying, trying, failing, laughing, and trying again, you will start to feel a shift. One day, you'll find yourself having a conversation without thinking about grammar, without translating in your head. You'll just talk. And that's the moment when you'll know you've made it. You've crossed the bridge from learning English to living in English. And when that day comes, and it will come, you'll look back and smile because you didn't just learn a language, you learned how to connect. And that, my friend, is the real power of real English. Thanks so much for being here with me today. I hope this talk helped you feel a little more confident, a little more inspired, and a lot more excited about your English journey. You've got this. Keep going And as always, learn English the easy way with Speak English Like a Pro.